In this module, we learned about aspect ratio and how to change the aspect ratio in your camera. You can also use your cell phone if you want to use that instead of your DSLR. Now, do remember you can check out a DSLR camera at the library for 2 days. Only for 2 days, though. So you need to plan accordingly if you're going to be using the library camera. Here we have in the first file, or the first image, we have the most common aspect ratios, which are a 9:16, a 2:3, a 1:1, and a 16:9. A 16:9 and a 9:16 are exactly the same thing, except one is turned on a vertical and one's on a horizontal. For this assignment, once again, you can use your cell phone or your camera. You're going to use the same setup, and you're not going to change the aspect ratio. Make sure that you have a foreground, a middle ground, and a background. Also remember, your camera is recommended that it's mounted on a tripod. If you don't have a tripod, I recommend that you set your camera down on a table or maybe on some kind of solid surface so it won't move. This is very important. In addition, do not rotate your camera once you start. What does that mean? If you're going to start in portrait view, you're going to stay in portrait view the entire time. Don't change to horizontal. Now, for this assignment, you're going to have 4 aspect ratios. Some cameras may not have all 4 options, and that is okay. Do the best you can. In the table, you can just write do not have. What are you going to need for this assignment? Once again, a camera and a tripod. You're going to have an image with a foreground, a middle ground, and a background. Let's review the images and the examples. In figure 1, the foreground is in the trees, the middle ground is on the green area, which is more like a pasture or a field, and then the background are the mountains. In figure 2, we also have a background of mountains. The middle ground is the water, and the foreground are the rocks. Once you have the correct exposure, you're going to start changing the aspect ratio in your camera. Number 1 should be a 9:16, number 2 should be a 2:3, number 3 is a 1:1, and number 4 is a 4:3. Remember, the scene will not change. Photograph in the same format the entire time. Don't change from landscape to portrait and vice versa. You're going to be submitting 4 photographs in JPEG format only. If you are using a cell phone, you have to remember to convert your files from HEC into JPEG. There are several free apps available to do that, and also on your cell phone and also on your computer. You will also turn in a table. So let's click on the table now. In the table, you're going to write your name and your camera model and write in your correct file names. And when we see under submission format, the 9:16 is going to be 01 underscore AR underscore last name underscore first name. Number 2, the same, 3 and 4. Here under file names, you can see this clearly labeled. And we also have a file name for our table. So here is our Google form, and we're going to make a copy because this is not editable. File, make a copy, and you're going to put it in your form, wherever you want to put it in your Google form. And you can see now I have a copy. After you filled out all the information, you're going to save it, and you're going to go download, choose PDF. And then we're going to export it. And I need to name it. So our naming format is 02 underscore table underscore last name underscore first name. Now do remember, use your last name and your first name. Don't write last name and don't write first name. your name first and last. And then I press save. As I click, I can see here's my file that I've saved. And let's go back. To turn in, I'm going to turn in one table in a PDF format and your 4 photographs in a JPEG format. Let's review the photographs that have been submitted in the past. Here we can see the first one is a 9:16, a 2:3, and a 1:1. Student examples, we have Benny's, he has his 9:16, a 3:2, and a 1:1. And he even had a 5:4. We look at Samantha, 16:9, 3:2, 1:1, 4:3. We can see Sylvester, 16:9, 3:2, 1:1, 4:3. In addition to that, I recommend that you looked at the rubric. In the rubric, in order to receive all the points, you have to have all the aspect ratios listed. You need to have an image with a foreground, a middle ground, and a background. You have to have the correct naming format, and all your files should be in JPEG and no PDF or HEC files. The only PDF is the table.